Pete Teckman. Come on. Come on.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that. First of all, I'd like to apologise for my appearance this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not usually this short and bald. I was recently the victim of identity theft, and this is what the bastards left me with. Oh, if only that were true. Sadly, I am this short and bald. I was born short and bald. You can imagine my disappointment now after all these years to find myself pretty much back where I started. I'm aware that it's not a great look. It's not the look that anybody aspires to, is it? Let's face it, nobody gets to the age of 12 and thinks, God, I hope I don't grow anymore and all my hair falls out by the time I'm 30, do they? It's not a look the ladies go for, is it, ladies? If you're perfectly honest, you're not naturally attracted to the short, bald man. If you need any evidence of that, you only have to look at the Lonely Hearts column in any newspaper. Count how many adverts you see from women specifically looking for short, bald men. You won't see any, ever. I've looked. Actually, I'll tell a lie, I did see one a few years ago. It said, would like to meet short, bald men, age, looks, personality, unimportant. I thought, fantastic. That's the perfect woman for me. She doesn't care what she ends up with. So I replied, and it turned out to be somebody casting for extras for the Lord of the Rings movie. My friends used to say to me, don't worry about it, it's what's on the inside that counts. And I used to think, well, yeah, that is what I'm worried about. I'm never going to get inside anybody looking like this. That was my problem. But at the end of the day, I was always going to end up bald. It's hereditary, it's in my genes. I'm bald, my father's bald. My father's father may have been bald, we don't know. He wore a hat. But the point is that if I ever have a son, there's every chance that he will go bald. And I've always thought it'd be fantastic if I had a boy, while he was a baby, to have his head tattooed. You know, with something that would gradually be revealed later in life as his hair receded. It would be brilliant, wouldn't it? You could have, if you can read this, then I'm already bald. I mentioned that to my wife, she went mad. She thought that was a ridiculous idea. She thought we should have a coastal scene so it looked like the tide was gradually going out. I mentioned my wife there. I did eventually settle down, met someone. She's a beautiful, intelligent, artistic, short, bald woman. We've got a lot in common. She's not talking to me at the moment. She found out that I have a pet name for her. Well, her, you know, private downstairs area. In my defence, I would say only came up with this name because I overheard her referring to it in a conversation with a friend as her lady garden. So I thought it was only right that I could call it my lady allotment. On the basis it doesn't actually belong to me, but I get to potter around in there occasionally at weekends. Rather less frequently since she found that out. Her lady garden is now open to the public. It's true, you should see the queues. It's like Alton Towers down there. I waited in line for ages the other day, got right to the front, she took one look at me and said, I'm sorry, you're too small for this ride. It's difficult. We have quite different personalities, my wife and I. I'm by nature a very pessimistic person. I'm a glass half empty sort of guy, I always see the dark side of every situation. My wife, on the other hand, is one of those annoyingly optimistic people. Always sees the bright side, always sees that silver lining behind the dark cloud. Even her blood group is B positive. My blood group is O, shit. That's what I've got. I blame my pessimism on my upbringing. I had a difficult childhood. Apparently when I was born, I took one look at my parents and it was me who suffered from postnatal depression. I was the middle child of 5, but I was also the smallest of the 5, which is hard, you know. I not only got hand-me-downs, I got hand-me-ups as well. And let me tell you, it's no fun going to school in your little sister's old uniform. I didn't feel wanted. I remember coming home from school one day, my mum was cooking Bubble and Squeak. They were my guinea pigs. It was tough, you know. It was sad. I had a difficult relationship with my father. I remember when my father taught me the facts of life, I was 12 years old. He took me into the living room one day, had a very serious expression on his face. He had a piece of paper in his hand. He said, son, it's time I told you about the facts of life. There are 3 golden rules you need to know about sex. If you remember these 3 golden rules, you won't go too far wrong. So rule number 1, don't get out of your depth until you know what you're doing. Until you've got a bit of experience, just take it steady. Rule number 2, never ever do it straight after a heavy meal. I said, Dad, these are your swimming rules. You gave me these 5 years ago. He looked at his bit of paper, he said, oh shit, you're right. He said, I wonder why the third one said, always make sure there's somebody else on hand to help out in case you get into difficulties. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my time for tonight. You've been absolutely lovely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, first time down here, Mr. Teckman.